So we started together to learn English. So we started to, for example, me personally, I started to go to the education center that is close to my home, and then we started. So how did we start? First of all, I realized that I started to learn fast personally, and together with my friend Dior, we started to learn so fast that we couldn't realize how did we come up to the stage when we could talk in English freely. So we started learning English from scratch, from beginner till up to the advanced. So I can mention here that going until the advanced level in English is not actually for that much of everyone, but we did this together with our friends, and it was cool. So the process of learning English was so amazing that we did different kind of things. You know, we did debates together with, I mean, all education centers in Tashkent. We started to have competitions, right? For example, in Tashkent, from education center, another education center to our education center, we made a squad, one team, and we started to debate. And we, of course, won all the debates that we participated, first place, and other kind of interactional activities like, you know, competitions. We did everything possible to improve our language, English language. And then we got to that level of IELTS. And then there did we start to concentrate on IELTS. So
Sure.
IELTS was a tough thing. So let's start, the art. Why don't you continue?
Sure. So we have to first of all mention that we've got two certificates. We had 2 attempts of IELTS exam. The first one was 7, the second was 7.5. Right now we have got the certificates of IELTS 7.5. But the first one, let's talk about the first one first of all. The first attempt happened in 2018 when we were 18. We took the first IELTS exam after finishing all the levels of English language at educational center. And it was pretty tough for us. However, it was very interesting because, you know, when you get into that process of learning English, it's going to become easier and easier. And you're going to realize that if you want to learn English, right? Now you can't live without English. So we came to that moment when we understood that we cannot live without English. And first attempt, we got 7 from IELTS. And second attempt, now Paul is going to talk about it.
All right. As mentioned, we tried to take IELTS 2 times. So after we got 7, we were like flying high in the like ninth sky, you know, like happy. 7 advanced scores, like in 2017, when you are 17-year-old, you're getting 7-point score in IELTS at first attempt. That's I think pretty amazing feeling, right?
Sure.
Then later on, did we start to prepare for the next exam? Second time we wanted to try IELTS, but those times we can tell we didn't really prepare as hard as the first one because of like other attempts. You know, when you're growing, like you have other studies like college, lyceum, and like other things that can disturb you. Like we started to work actually after getting 7, like as a teacher, as the teachers. So those things kind of disturb us. And then unfortunately we got 7.5. Maybe that's even fortunately, you know, because 7.5 is also a very high mark, and especially getting 9 and 8.5 scores from listening and reading. That was amazing, of course. We got 7.5.
If the administration allows us to show our demonstration of the screen, we would like to show you this certificates. But anyways, let's continue. So getting 7.5 from IELTS means a lot for us and meant a lot for us. So we decided after that not to quit English. We understood that we have to continue it. And the only way to continue it was teaching English. And we decided to teach English. So now I think you know that we are also teachers of English language. So we started once we got our IELTS certificates, we started taking our teaching experience, getting that, and now we are still teaching. And it was a great experience for us so far, because we have taught, we were teachers in Uzbekistan and also in Italy as well, which we're going to talk later on. Next one.
So moving on to the next stage, let's start to concentrate on bigger achievements. So bigger experiences, right? Right after we decided to teach English, we had like more opportunities. You know, learning English language only and getting high mark from IELTS opened us so many doors that we were kind of having a blizzard, you know? So we started to volunteer. We started to do volunteering in different competitions. Like in 2017, again, when we were 17 years old, we started to volunteer in international big competition, sport competition. It was judo. So volunteering in international sports competition like Judo Grand Prix in Tashkent in 2007, and in international Kurash tournament, Kurash like our sport, Kurash tournament for the prize of Uzbekistan's first president, Islam Abdulganiyevich Karimov. So this kind of big international competitions were the next hotspot for us. We started to volunteer as interpreters, like, you know, taking all those sportsmen who came from abroad and like showing the city around and like telling them, helping them in every step that they are taking, that they were taking in the streets of Tashkent or in like hotel or whatever. So we were with them together with like throughout a week in judo in 2017. So it was an amazing experience. Microphone. Dior. Microphone.
Is it here? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So after getting Kurash judo experience, we decided to continue with another opportunity, which was Kurash. It's also another sport where we participated as an interpreters and as a volunteers. So we helped the sportsmen of different countries to get adapted to our country so that they won't have any kind of problems. And we were there helping them all. And we also got a lot of experience from these competitions as well.
Yes, exactly. So, and then continuing about achievements, we can say we achieved a lot more than we actually thought of. For example, me personally, after, you know, getting IELTS and teaching English and participating in this kind of international competitions, I was invited to an IELTS webinar of the new system that was new actually in that year, 2018 back, I think, computer delivered IELTS. Although it is not that big achievement, it was something really significant for me. Why? Because I have been there around like many specialists in IELTS. All around Uzbekistan, there were many specialists in IELTS. Like, I think you know a couple of them. Do you know Begzat Mirahmedov, like, who is trying to get 9, and others, like other different masters of IELTS. I was with them on one circle discussing about IELTS achievements, exam processes, and everything. Yes, IELTS zone master of, right? So we were together with the most IELTS masters together in that webinar.
So now we can see a lot of people are watching us, but would like to ask, can you all hear us well and understand us well? So that we would, if yes, please put plus in the chat. There is a chat, if you know, where you can write something. So please put pluses. Yep. All right. That's great. Yeah, we are very happy to see those pluses. So another thing that we would like to talk. Do you know the TV channel Yoshlar in Uzbekistan?
Yeah.
So once upon a time, I was also there appearing on TV, on Yoshlar TV. I would show you, we can show you right now here. So can you hear the presentation now?
Please, guys, other people who are watching, we would love to see that your microphone's off so that we can speak clearly, please. TV going down now.
All right. Yeah, there is a TV. All right, so here we'd like to show some demonstrations of those we have talked about. First of all, let's please switch off the
Switch off your microphone, please.
All right, that's nice. That's nice. So let's show you those things that we have already talked about. First of all, this is our certificates, right? IELTS scores. We have got 7.5, 7.5, both of us. Another thing that we would like to talk about is, let me show. This is we forgot to tell about this. Yeah. So this is our teacher. I think that everybody is interested in who is our teacher, how we got these results. We shouldn't forget about mentioning our mentors. Sorry, yeah. We shouldn't, of course, forget mentioning about our teacher. This is Azizbek Iminov, our teacher, who is right now one of the most successful people in the field of education and business in Uzbekistan.
Yeah. So let me add one thing here, please.
Sure.
To everyone who is listening right here, I want to mention that if you want to higher scores everywhere, if you want to achieve success, you need one thing at the first place. It is mentor. You know, mentor. Like a mentor is someone who shows you the right way. You know, who says you the right things. So I think the picture that he showed earlier on, like in the middle of both of us, like was the person who was mentor for us. So it's very important to have a mentor if you want to, you know, achieve some more of a success. So this is Azizbek Iminov, right? And who's our mentor. Yes.
All right. So another things we talked about here, we are in Courage and judo competitions.
Yes.
These are managers and coaches and sportsmen from different countries. Mm-hmm. Here we got some gold medals. This kind of experience we have got. And here as well, these are our volunteers that we were together, all our staff who are working there. And these things are our certificate that we got from those competitions, from Courage and judo, and we have got the same certificates here, the Malik's, and here's mine, but we have got the same one also. This is
is the certificate that I talked about from. This is to certify that Abdul Malik Abdul Wahid participated in the federalization of computer delivered IELTS tests in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, April 20, 2019. So this is the certificate of IELTS circle that we have with masters.
All right. Another thing that I talked appearing on TV, on Yoshlar TV. This is a picture from there. It was a TV program called General English, and I appeared there in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Another thing to talk about right now.
So, this is also very interesting, I hope, for you guys, because since we said that we started to teach English, we started to teach in the education center that we studied, and it was Niners, as you can see from flags. We started to learn English, and we started to teach there at Niners Education Center, and we did pretty amazing things out there. Actually, except teaching, we were busy with you know, online streaming and like blogging, taking videos. So there was like one new project together with Dior called Niners News. So we made this kind of you know, active challenges out there in our education center.
All right. Another thing that we have to mention is our debate organizations. We had a lot of debates with our students because, you know, debate is it's a great way to improve your speaking, your communication skills. So we didn't forget, of course, about this one. So debating we were organizers of them, and here you can see some of those pictures from the games that we have, from the debate that we have. Another one.
All right. So this is gentlemen. I think when you popped up on the Zoom video call, you realize why those two guys are wearing yellow shirts.
Sure.
Like, are they what? Like kind of kangaroo or something, right? Gentle Mentors is our own online web page on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Telegram, where we teach most of our audience about English, the secrets of English, and tips and tops. So Gentle Mentors, we started probably about 3-4 months ago when we realized that the coronavirus outbreak started. We need to go a little online, right? So you can go on Telegram, Instagram, and YouTube, typing Gentle Mentors, and then you can see this channel, and it's very interesting, I think.
All right. So another stuff, very interesting stuff we have to talk about. I think a lot of people are interested in Italy. Am I right? If yes, please put pluses here. Italy. Do you like Italy, the country of Italy? Are you interested in it? So Italy is a country where we went to study, first of all. But it wasn't only for studying. We decided to see out of the box, something out there abroad, not everything only in Uzbekistan, but also abroad, to see foreign countries, foreign people, and learn their cultures and so on. So this is a reason why we chose Italy, and how we got there. Let's talk about this.
All right. So how did we manage to go to another country in Europe to study? First of all, as we were getting older, we were reaching the age of applying to university, and we were thinking a lot with our team, our own squad, Dior, and other friend of ours. We started to think that why don't to go to abroad? So right, we chose Italy because Italy offers very good choices and universities. So we started to prepare our documents. Honestly, preparing to go to Italy was not easy. We made a whole bunch of things to get ourselves ready to go to Italy, like many messy things, documental works, financial works, and everything. So we did as strong as strong as possible, everything, and then we managed to get to Italy. We applied to the University of Sapienza. Although you maybe haven't thought about or heard about this university, let me tell you an information. Sapienza University of Rome is #1 university in Italy and is in top 10 universities in Europe, and world ranking. According to the QS World Rankings, Sapienza stands now this year in 112th position. 112th position out of millions of universities. Can you imagine that? So that was the toppest university, and we would love to go there. I think everyone would love to go there, right? So we chose that university.
All right. And after applying for Italy, after going there, it was of course a great experience for us. We had a lot of friends, foreign friends from there, from different countries of the world. There in Italy, it's not the same as in Uzbekistan. Everything is different. The people are different. Food is different. The weather is different. Even the look of the country is different. Everything is different. So we just decided to see something different, because in Uzbekistan, we have seen a lot of things. So we decided to see something more. So we went to Italy and decided to study there, which we don't regret, of course. That's a great experience for us.
All right, everything. As he mentioned, like food is another topic, for Italy, like pizza, pasta, spaghetti, and the language. Oh my God, mamma mia, Italiano. Can you imagine? Like Italian is like so amazing. when we realized that we adapted to Italy, we fell in love with Italy, the language, the people, the food, the culture, everything. So it's one of the best places to experience your studenthood, you know. So you know, international friends is also a very big topic, because once you step to the Italy, you will see different international friends and who can help each other from France, from US, from India, from even Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, and other countries. And then we didn't stop there, like from doing different like interesting actions. We started to, with Dior together, go to different parties and ceremonies. You know, big experience. One of the biggest experience was hosting parties and conferences in Italy as MC. You know, guys, what's MC? MC is called short for Master of Ceremonies, right? Uh, or speaker in English language, like kind of public speaker. As you can see in this picture, I'm speaking towards of many people out there, audience, and you know, showing out yourself a little bit in English, right? So that was the cool experience, believe me.
All right. In Italy, we have got a lot of places like this. Italy is number 2 country after France, if I know, in Europe for tourists. So it's one of the greatest countries where there are a lot of people from different countries. Tourists are there. So it's a great experience to see all people from all the world, and to see that, how is that, the landmarks of Italy. For example, Colosseum, we know, right? Colosseum, the Leaning Tower of Pisa we have, right? That one.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a lot of fountains, a lot of landmarks that we have already seen in Italy. Because,
Venice, right? Venice,
sure,
Milan.
Venice. And of course, about food, as Paul mentioned, food is another topic here. We have got the pizzas, which are completely different from what we have in Uzbekistan. After coming to Uzbekistan, it was difficult to adapt to those pizzas, because in Italy it was completely different. And another thing is ice cream. Ice cream is also a different topic, because in Uzbekistan you can't, of course, taste those.
Lamborghini,
Yeah,
Ferrari, Aston Martin, different
yeah.
brands, Zara, and everything others. Like, oh man, that was cool.
All right, that's a great country to visit, of course.
Yes.
And another about language, let's talk about this as well. So a lot of people ask about language, in which language you talk in Italy. So if you know English, that's great. If you go to Italy, however, it will be better if you knew Italian as well. Our university is in English language. However, if you go to the streets, if you want to talk to Italian people, most of them don't know English. So you have to speak in Italian language. So you have to learn Italian language as well, but it's not a scary thing. You can learn it easily after going to Italy. We have learned something with Paul as well. Conversational skills, talking to people, that's gonna be easy if you live there at least 5-6 months.
Yes,
All right.
exactly. So now at the end of our speech, our experience, we wanna concentrate on the most important thing of our experience. It is teaching career. All right. So teaching English is a very big, means very big and important to us, both to Dior and me, because as we learned English, as we mastered English, we needed to share it. Like we needed to share it as broad as possible. So we kind of have been doing it for a long time. So since 2018, we started teaching. So it's like 2 years of experience we got in teaching, although now I'm 19 years old. Teaching in Italy was a very big experience, believe me, because job opportunities in Italy is something that is very difficult. If you are a student in Italy, you have almost no option to have a good job. But we with Dior managed to find a very good and suitable job, our own job there, and it was teaching kids, children, or teens, students, all of them, Italians, and like it was amazing experience, because you know, you get to see different people, like culture. You can compare Uzbek kids and Italian kids, how they think, how they react to your teaching, how they get that. And it was a very massive experience.
All right. And after, of course, we didn't start working right after we went to Italy. It was pretty difficult to find that job because, as Paul mentioned, it's pretty difficult for students to find a job in Italy. However, we didn't just waste our time in that period. We worked in Skyeng. If you know, it's an online school, English school. For 2 months, we worked there until we found our offline job there. We worked in Skyeng online school. So it was a great experience in online teaching as well that we are having right now, helping other students because of the quarantine. So we have to teach online, and that was a great experience for us as well.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, and the last thing is teaching in Tashkent. Before we got to the Italy, we have been nominated with Dior as the best English teacher in our education center in the place where we worked. So it was a big turnout for us, kind of a push to be a better teacher, to be better educators, tutors. So in Uzbekistan, we gained all the experience of teaching, and we're still now teaching online, working online, preparing abiturients to universities and like Ielts and English other language students.
All right. So after telling all those stuff, now I want to ask you a question. I think you all are really eager to learn English very well. Am I right? So what do you think, what is the problem of many students? There are a lot of students right now in the world, in Uzbekistan, who are really eager to learn English. They want to learn English. When they're talking to friends, they tell to each other like, you know, I want to learn English. I started learning English. However, after 1 month, 2 months, they give up. Why? Because there are a lot of obstacles in learning English. It's not an easy thing like that's gonna happen in a second, right? It's gonna be difficult, but you're gonna be patient. So here is the thing that many people are not focusing on. That's the patience, that's concentration. And we want to talk about this as well. Why? The topic of our today's conference is why successful people, right? Who they are, successful people. And let's talk about it a little bit as well.
All right. So let me add a one very short kind of speech at the end that I have written recently. And from my own experience, from our experience together with our team, Dior, me, and my other friends. So what's the secret of success? The secret of success is finding your passion. Finding your passion. Everyone has a passion. Passion finds you, but you don't find passion. You will realize that you have a passion, but when do you realize it? It depends on you. So we realized in our childhood that we have a passion to be bilingual, kind of smart guys, right? And then another thing is very important that you have to have a great personality. You have to be a person who has a great habit. Can you understand me? Habit, personality, they're very important. For example, one of the most important and most helpful, most rewarding lessons I have learned in a rather long and eventful life of only 2 or 3 years, maybe, can be described in just 2 words. Guys, stand tall. Stand tall physically, spiritually, and mentally. So if you stand tall in these 3 areas, you build the greatest personality ever to yourself. You would do a big invest to yourself. So let's talk about each of them shortly. Standing tall physically. Please, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me carefully because they're very important so that you will learn it and master these things. Stand tall physically. I always remind myself of standing erect. So physically standing tall, not slouched, not slumped, just erect. Calmly stretching upward, concentrating entirely on reaching higher with the top of your head, right? Easily lifting myself so that it's like a little unexplainable, but I can feel that the top of my head is lifting my weight off my feet so that I stand slightly, almost weightlessly, you know. And I always walk confidently wherever I go with an easy glide, my legs swinging smooth back and forth like pendulums, you know. Stand tall mentally. Second thing is standing tall mentally. How? There's an old but tried and true slogan which says, always go first class. I once kind of added an equal important slogan, always think first class. Ladies and gentlemen, always think first class. Because you don't have to clutter up your mind with second class thoughts. Because one can become no bigger, no better, no finer, no more successful than his dominant thoughts. So I think big. You should think big. If you think big, you achieve big, my dears. And the last thing is standing tall spiritually. It's very important to stand tall spiritually. And it's also very difficult, right? But once achieved, the relief is pleasant. As, for instance, I felt the significance of it. Yet, paradoxically, while it lifts you up, it also gives you that calm firmness, which makes you impregnable to the vicissitudes of life, to the challenges of life. It's only when I can accept infinity, boundless dimension, timeless throughout eternity, holy beyond reverence, and know that I, in some spiritual way, I'm a part of it. Only then can I really stand tall spiritually, and that will make all the difference, my dears. So at the end, if I would live life to the fullest, I stand tall. Stand tall physically to achieve confidence. Stand tall mentally to attain wisdom. Stand tall spiritually to be triumphant, to be the winner. If you stand tall in these three areas, you're the strongest one. All right? So keep in mind that.
There is another thing which is in our chat about time management. A lot of people have problem with time management. So we think that we have problem with time management, but do you know how many minutes we have in a day? 1,440 minutes. This is a number. That's a great number, right? 1,440 minutes we have got in a day. So let's say around 20% or 30% we spend for sleeping. Another, it's a great number. So we have got so many time for watching YouTube. We have got so much time for chatting on Telegram. We have got so much time for movies and other stuff. But that's the thing where a lot of people are having problems. They think that they don't have time. But if they think wiser, they will of course have their time. And in order to have time, I think people should have their plans. So there is a saying that idiots with a plan is gonna beat the genius without a plan. And that's correct, because without a plan, you're not gonna go anywhere because you don't know your vision. Imagine you know that you should go, but you don't know where you're going. So you don't know your finish. You started, you don't know your finish. That's a problem. So if you don't have your vision, you're gonna go there, and you end up going nowhere. That's the problem. So please find the passion that you have, the vision, so that you will only move toward there, and forget about other people, about haters who say, no, you can't do it, it's impossible. You should know that it's possible. You should believe in yourself that it's possible. And then you're gonna get that result that you want.
All right. So I think that
All right.
you are like, I think a little bit tired of us only talking, right? So ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please pop up those questions because we're ready. Any questions about everything we talked about, everything we didn't talk about, just give questions. We're ready to answer that.
Sure.
On a chat or like online speaking on a video.
Or if you have the hand, do you have this raising your hands? Yeah, there is a button of raising your hands. There is a button of that, if you can see that.
Okay, I found one question from the chat, from Khslatbek Khotamov, right? which books did you study before taking IELTS? All right, so books are also very important, of course, to master everything. So when we studied IELTS, we have studied many different books, but all right. But one of the most important books that we learned was from different sections of IELTS. So, for example, from reading, we tried to master that book called IELTS Reading Advantage Skills. IELTS Reading Advantage Skills. Or from writing, this version has IELTS Writing Advantage Skills. So those advantage skills are one of the important books that can help you to achieve success in terms of reading and writing, right?
Sure. Any other questions? Let's start one by one. So
you can, yeah, you
who's
can
gonna ask a question?
So many things to speak if I say. You can.
Sure, let's switch on the voice for this guy, if it's possible. Mukhayo Kinjaiva, there is a guy one. Yeah, let's go.
Thank you very much for letting me. Before all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Shafat Otabek. I'm from Surkhandarya. Before asking something, I want to give you a little background about you. Firstly, I'm very happy to speak with you too, and to hear about your goals that you achieved. And I see that you reached your goals till now because of you didn't stop. Yes?
Sure.
Because you never stop. And my first question is, where did you find your challenge? Inside of you or among others? Among others. How do you say
Sure.
about this?
Okay, let us answer one by one, right? All right. So,
okay.
In my opinion, our challenge, you want to say our passion, right? Where we found that passion. I think it's of course pretty difficult to find your passion because sometimes a lot of teens right now, teenagers, they are interested in a lot of stuff. They're interested in playing computer games as a professionals. They're interested in sports. They're interested in learning languages. But I think that you have to try all of them until you find your passion. And that if you want to say that energy that we take, I think that it's from people, of course. We with Paul are really interested in love competitions, challenges. Sometimes we challenge each other as well because it's going to help us to be productive. So look at other people, how they are. Try to be stronger than them. Try to be better than them. But never tell them like, no, I'm stronger than you. Don't tell anyone. Ignore naysayers or haters and go on your path and try to be the best. Try to be better than others. Of course, there is no point when you're the best. There will be, of course, people who are better than you. But the more you become better, you're going to understand that you're becoming stronger, you're growing, and so on. So, Paul, please.
All right. So my answer would be quite simple. Challenging yourself or challenging others, right? Your question was that like that, I suppose. But my true answer would be challenging yourself first, because if you challenge yourself and if you feel that you are beating all those challenges yourself, and then you start to grow. And when you start to grow, the challenges that you will have towards others will become nothing. You will be like a monster, you know? Or if you have a team like us, for example, my friend Dior, or me, or my other friend called Bahadur, right? If you have a team like this, you can challenge each other, and by challenging each other, you will have a friendly competition, healthy competition, we call it. Once my mentor told me about a competition. You should have a real good competition among your team, inside your team, but it should be healthy. If you have a healthy competition with yourself or with your team, and then you will start to surge up, to grow to the toppest level, and then the people out there like around you will be nothing. All right.
All right. Let's go to another question. Is gonna ask any questions. So here, which one do you prefer most, British or British Council or IDP? And what do you think about taking IELTS certificate? Is it so important? So Paul, would you like to answer?
All right. Personally, for me, IDP, because both of the times when I took IELTS, I tried with IDP, and IDP serves very good, you know, qualities of serving. Like they're very good. Of course, I cannot say we like one of them are better than another one. British Council and IDP are almost like same. No, like they are on the same level. But I prefer IDP because, as I told, I have been to the IELTS webinar of IDP, and I have seen the people who are making those exams. I have seen the people who are collaborating together to make a better organization. So I found IDP a very amusing and educative and a very challenging, very good organization. So I always prefer IDP.
Right. Even though I also took twice exam from IDP, I don't think that there is a big difference between them. So I would choose whichever is available right now, because you know there is the deadline. There are member people who are also registering. So whichever is free and whichever you want to take, you can take. There's not a big difference. So anyways, if you know English well, if you're well prepared, you'll get the same mark and from IDP and from British Council. So another question, let's go.
Well, what is the best memory of learning English? I found that question.
All right, let's answer.
The best memory of learning English is, of course, spending time with your friends. I mean, the times when we were studying, we studied together. Like, you know, we were like a family in an education center. And the times when we were kind of talking about everything that we face together with my friend Dior and others, like the atmosphere that you have in education center with your close friends is priceless. So you're going to learn a lot of lessons from working and studying together with your team. So that's the best memory.
All right. And there is another question. You said you taught English. So what matters you used? And for now, for those who are learning themselves, which one is very good? So for those who are working on themselves, who are learning English by themselves, I would really recommend to work on their everything, each section of English. As we know, a lot of people in Uzbekistan, they're well prepared for IELTS grammar, or not IELTS grammar, English grammar, right? For our Uzbek government tests. However, when it comes to speaking, when it comes to listening, reading, and writing, they've got some problems. So I would recommend really to work English, not from books that our government is offering, but from videos, from movies, from native people. When you listen to native people, you're going to speak the way they speak. You're going to listen the way they speak. So I think it's more useful to watch movies with native people. Just look around, find some native speakers, watch their movies, just their videos, and it's going to be pretty helpful for you.
All right. My short answer would be there are two main steps to master English. The first is, if you master grammar, you're going to be perfect. Second, if you master your speaking, verbal skills. So how do you improve those two? First, you can improve your grammar theoretically by studying a lot, by learning from books, from videos, from every material possible, because no any material, I think, lies about grammar. So theoretically, you should give yourself out to the grammar, theoretically. And then practically, you should be active in verbal speaking, right? In verbal learning English. So like you should practice more with the people who know English better, or you can practice yourself, like at home. If you're at home, you can speak to yourself. watch that video and learn some cool phrases and try to practice them yourself. Like you can speak to yourself. You know, for example, right now I am sitting and I am watching a webinar of two guys who are like getting wise about English, right? So you should speak always to yourself. All right.
Sure. Yeah, let's listen to another question if you have. You can write or you can raise your hands like that, I think. So that we switch on the voice of yours.
By the way, all those
Some
questions that you gave so far, you can find answers in our channel called Gentle Mentors. If you go there, we make a lot of videos about anything in English, so you can watch.
Sure.
And soon we're gonna make, every week we have new video about English. So subscribe on Gentle Mentors on TG and Instagram.
Sure. All right. Another question here, I think. Yeah, Munisa, right? Let's switch on Munisa's voice. Wait a second. Hamidova Munisa, right? Let's get the question from her. Please switch on the voice. So, yeah, now we can speak.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
You're welcome.
First of all, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm the freshman of World Language University, and my name is Hamidova Munisa. And
great.
so I saw the IELTS certificate of both of you, and the writing scores are lower than others. And what's the reason?
Yeah, let me answer to this question. So,
the inside of the...
Sure. Thank you for the question. It's a very interesting question, a very common question. So, my answer would be that, as you know, we started teaching in 17. We got our IELTS in 17, and others think that our experience is very fast. Like we're going very fast. I think that there is another way that we can take. If we want to improve our writing, we need a lot of time. We should understand that if you want to take IELTS, if you want at least score 7, band score 7, you can easily improve your listening and reading and speaking, and your writing is not going to play a big role. And you can easily take 7. If you want to improve your writing, you're going to have a lot of time for that. You're going to spend a lot of time for that. And you might, for example, forget about other sections. So I think that it's better to focus on your listening, reading, and speaking. And if you have time on writing, first of all, these 3 sections, you have to master them in order to get higher than 7 in IELTS. But of course, don't forget about writing as well. Practice it.
Of course.
About writing itself, we did not prepare for writing at all, especially in our first IELTS. Like we even didn't write one essay, you know, like we didn't write essay even in our practice. It was just like, just went to the exam. We just prepared from listening and reading, as he mentioned, to get higher score easily. And then like we didn't have honestly time to prepare from writing, but we got 6 or 6.5, I can't remember, but that was fine for us. Next time as well, our second shot was like, as we told, we had college lyceum and working teaching, so we didn't have time to prepare from writing as well. So we just failed writing as well. But overall score was, although pleasant, but I'm gonna promise we're soon gonna, you know, try another shot, third shot. So I hope this time we'll get higher score from writing and overall will be, you know, higher.
Sure.
May I ask one more question, please?
Of course.
Yes.
What about writing essay samples? You know, Simon or maybe other famous writers and IELTS teachers recommend to prepare like this IELTS writing samples. And are they useful for learning? I have to write essays.
Sure, I think that they are very useful for you to practice it because the more you write, the better prepared you'll be. You know, the more you see something, you see, and the next time, every time, if the next time you're going to become stronger and stronger. So I think that samples are very good. However, there is another point that you have to have a teacher who's going to check that samples. You know, if you don't have a master of that writing who's going to check that, I think it's going to be not that very useful. However, pretty useful as well.
Yes, in writing samples, I would recommend you to concentrate like partially. For example, if you have, as you told Simon, sample, right? So this is also good. I have once read about his samples. They're very good. You have to pay attention to the parts. For example, you know, if you learn partially, like small, you're gonna get it there. If you like read whole the sample, 50% chance you don't get all. So I would recommend you to concentrate on, for example, topic sentence first, supporting sentence, reasoning, examples, step-by-step learning samples. Not whole at once, but like step-by-step, especially body part and paraphrasing and everything. But I think, you know, it's better not to copy these samples, right? You're just gonna learn from them.
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any questions about Italy, how to get to Italy, about whatever you want to ask? So here.
Are you still in Italy?
No, we're not in Italy right now. You know the situation right now. So
Yes,
we
yes.
came here around a month or two ago when the lockdown was being held. Like it was starting and then this came. The last moment we came here without quarantine and other stuff.
Yeah,
Yes.
COVID-19
We're happy that we're here.
countries.
Sure. And the university life, we are having online right now. We're still teaching, studying there. Okay, any question?
From the chat, I think there's a.
Yes. Or there's a question in the chat.
All right. What is a question? All right, what is the purpose of General Matters, right? Plans and aims. All right, at the beginning when we started our blog, our project called Gentle Mentors, we first of all wanted to teach our students that we had already in Uzbekistan. We had to say goodbye to them because we were leaving Uzbekistan and we're going to Italy. So our aim was teaching students, our students, and others as well. However, later on, we understood that not only teaching is what we are interested in, but also motivating other people, giving some inspiration and motivation to the students who are trying to learn different languages, and especially English language.
I'm sorry to butt in.
All right.
What's your major? Could you share about your aims to share this major plans in our Uzbekistan, because the method of learning English or the studying in Italy could be more beneficial to study in Uzbekistan if you share this.
Yeah. Paul, would you like to answer?
I really didn't get the idea. You mean like how would you apply your experiences on Uzbekistan or something? Yeah? All right. That's actually the ultimate target, because as we can see, nowadays we need to really pay attention to education in Uzbekistan, because you know, the style, the methods are a little bit you know, how do we say that, went old. So that, like, you know, in order to learn something, you have to be interested in that. So our goal with Dior and with our team is to take the education level of Uzbekistan into the next level. Inshallah, in the future, we will make it happen. What's important here is that we need to work on the specific areas where education is lacking in our Uzbekistan. For example, we need to train teachers. Teachers need to be educated themselves, first of all. And secondly, we need to bring that, atmosphere, aura of learning English, for example, specifically into the education of Uzbekistan. It's not just learning from rules and books. It's all about interaction with all students, engagement, amusement, atmosphere, high, like being so enthusiastic and teaching them. We need energy to change our education.
So, and we think that every student of Uzbekistan should have that passion in learning something, in education. A lot of people nowadays, if you ask them, do you like studying at school or do you like studying at your university, they say no. Why? Because they study just for their diploma, right? So they think that diploma is gonna decide. A lot of people are gonna, they have a dream to start working, earning money after they finish their bachelor's degree, after getting the diploma. But we, with Paul and other guys, we wanna prove that it's not true. We, for example, because of that, we started working at 17 and started earning at 17. So this is our aim, to show that youngsters can do a lot of stuff. And our diploma is not important. It's just a piece of paper that our parents want, that our relatives want. But the real thing that we want is that knowledge that we have. So the knowledge can be your habits, your skills, and other stuff. So please, if you're studying right now at university, we also university students, don't only concentrate at your university life. Learn more skills, learn to use some, programs, for example, on computer. Learn some different skills so that in the future they're going to help you to earn money, to be happy that you're working in that field and other stuff.
How many people do you have in your team, gentle mentors, or only both of you? And do you want to convert your team into any kind of company in the future?
Sure.
So in Gentle Mentors administration, only we, Dior, and me, because as Dior told, when we got to Italy, we had to come up with going online. So with Dior, we started this new launching project called Gentle Mentors. So here in Gentle Mentors, only we. But if we're going to talk about our team, we have our working team, and we started to study together. So we're like our mentor, as we told about, and this guy, Dior Tikif, and me, and there's one another very hardworking guy called Bahadur, and he's also in our team. So we have to, in order to achieve your goal, in order to take it to the perfect level, you need a good team, because that's the thing that Uzbekistan lacks. Uzbekistan, I think, should be taught more about teamwork. Teamwork is the strongest thing that can happen with anyone on different projects. If you look at America, United States of America, every project there is a team. No one is working individually. No one is saying, hey, that's my job, that's your job, do your own job. No, that shouldn't work like that. You need to have your own team together, believing in each other, acting together, being one team, strong fit. So if you have a team together that understands each other, you will achieve. So our team has 4 members, as I told.
Sure. And gathering that team was also not so easy. There are a lot of friends of yours that want to join your team, They say, oh, my friends, you're my friend, let's work together. But how to decide whether they're good with you or can you be together with you? That's important. We, for example, we had a lot of members in our team. We tried a lot of people. So this is very important. You should take to your team people who you believe in. For example, you have a friend and you believe in him. He's reliable and he's hardworking. As I told, you have got to have the plan, right? Vision, where you're going. For example, if you have a vision, if you're going right and your friend is going left, you can't be in one team. For example, you're learning English, your friend is learning, let's say, African language or Chinese language, right? And whatever you're talking to him in terms of English, it's not interesting to him. Or if you want to be a teacher, but another one is going to be a gamer or something like that in the future, right? Or something like, so if you have the same vision where you're going, that's very important to build the team. In a team, every member of the team is important, and every member should have the same vision where you're going. Otherwise, they will go left and they will take you as well. And you're not going to get that aim as well. So you're going to fail. That's why building the team is very important, I think.
All right.
All right. Any other questions?
I think people want to sleep.
Yeah.
All right.
So if there is a question.
I have a question.
All right.
Can you please speak about Italian cuisine?
Italian cuisine. All right. If it's interesting, we will, of course. So Italian cuisine is, as I told, completely different from Uzbekistan. They like more food with dough, you know, dough, for example, pizza, spaghetti, pasta, and other stuff. So these things are all made of dough, and that's very delicious. It's completely different. For example, in a pizza, the cheese that they're using, you can't find here in Uzbekistan, for example. That's the reason. The same is in Uzbekistan. For example, we have our breads, right? Breads. So, or plo. For example, if you go to America and cook the same one, it's not going to be like in Uzbekistan. The same thing in Italy. So the cuisine is very different. My, for example, favorite food is pizza, of course. In Italy, people say there is no one who doesn't like pizza. You know, everybody must like pizza, like that.
Yes. So it's like best pizza in Italy is, like, by information, in Napoli. I think you've heard about this city, Napoli. They say like una incredibile pizza del Napolitana. See, it's like they stress so much on this Napolitan pizza, and there's like that's so amazing. I mean, I wish I would say that every one of you had a chance to go to Italy and to taste their pizza. It's just unbelievably amazing.
All right.
One more question, Dior.
Hmm?
If it's audible. I remember you dreaming of Italian ice cream while we were studying our Lyceum.
All right.
And your dreams come true.
Sure.
How did you reach that goal or dream, I can say?
Sure. I should, of course, mention that, you know, from my childhood, I had a dream to visit Italy, to learn Italian language, to visit some Italian landmarks. And I can say that my dreams, yeah, they came true. They are in reality. I saw them. And when you reach your aim, you know, you can be the happiest person of the world, you know, because that's what we are living for, our aims and reaching them. If you can't, you shouldn't give up. Of course, I had a moment in Uzbekistan when I thought like, no, I think I can't go right now to Italy because I've got some problem with documents, I don't have money and other stuff. No, shouldn't give up. You should work on your dream and you will, of course, reach that. In ice cream, of course, I tasted that. That was great.
And please talk about difficulties you faced, maybe with your family, because I know you're the only son in your family, and kind of difficulties.
So parents, of course, they supported us. They said, yeah, there were some negativities, like, no, maybe you could stay here, but no, it wasn't a big negativity. It was for better sides, in a good meaning. Of course, parents, they like when their children are together with them. Of course, there will be some difficulties. However, no, they supported us. There wasn't big problem with our parents. The problem was there wasn't problem. If you have problem, we can solve it. We solved it and we reached that. What about you, man?
Okay, guys. My father wants to say hello.
Yeah, that's great.
I think April.
Hi, boys. How are you?
Hello, nice, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Okay,
great.
guys. Can you tell me about the weather?
In Italy,
Yes, in Italy.
weather.
How about the weather? Yes.
The weather in Italy is pretty wet. You know the word wet. So in Uzbekistan is very dry. When you breathe the air, it's gonna go like you can't feel anything. Once we went out of the airport in Italy, we noticed that the weather was different. It was pretty wet. When you breathe, you feel like some water is going into your nose, you know? So it's very wet, but it's great, you know? It's very pleasant.
And like I can give you an example. For example, right now in summer, if you go outside in Tashkent or in wherever in Uzbekistan, you may feel that your hair is getting burnt from sun, right? But in Italy, in Rome, when you are walking, there's a very soft wind every time, windy weather, you know, like wet as he told wind, as if like the wind is massaging your head, you know. It's like that's amazing.
Yeah, because the ocean is very close to
Yes.
Rome. That's the
Sea
reason. Because
around it.
yeah, that's the reason why the weather is so pleasant.
You mean the weather is clean, right?
Yeah, that's very clean. And if you go to
We
the
have a
mountain,
dusty
for
weather.
example,
We
if you
have a
go to the
dusty weather.
mountain, in mountains, in for example, in our mountains, there is nothing, almost nothing, like just some grass, and that's it, and dry trees, you know. But in Italy, there is it's like a jungle, you know, in Amazon jungle. It's like everywhere trees in mountains. There is no empty place without tree. Everywhere is tree. That's the reason why we have the clean air over there.
Have you visited other cities of Italy?
Yeah, we have visited some other cities as well, of Italy as well. For example, we visited a city called Rieti. That's the center of Italy, you know, the Italy, and there is a central point of Italy. We visit that place. Yeah, it's a great place as well. It's a small, you know, town. It's like if you watch Riverdale, that's a movie like that. It's the same, you know, small town with a lot of, you know, people, not so much people, but still, it's a great city to visit.
How about transportation? Sorry.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, how about transportation? People like cycling or walking or driving
Let me tell
cars.
you, let me answer you here. Like transportation, it's really strange transportation in Italy. Why? Because the main two types of transportation, taxi, right? Taxi and buses. All right. So let's start with buses. All right. Buses are free. Like, you know, there's like, they don't have conductors. They don't have conductors on buses. There's only machine on bus. There's machine, and you take your ticket. You will have a ticket, and then you insert that, and then it gives you back with the snap. So you take that, but no one checks that. So you have a very good chance every time when you go to the bus. No one checks that. So you just buy one ticket, put it in your pocket, and you can go with that for 1 month, 2 months. But once checked, if you are caught, you will pay €200 bill. That's the slot one. But and then there's a taxi. Taxi feels like airplane. The price of taxi is like airplane, you know? Like for example, I remember when we got first to Italy, we went out of the airport. It was 12 at night, and then we didn't have bus, but so we were supposed to take taxi. We sat on a taxi. Do you remember, Dior? Like when we were on taxi, how much did we pay at the end for 20 kilometers? We paid 250 euros. It's like 3 million sums, you know, for one taxi. It's like we were four people. We paid 250 euros for 20 kilometer distance, 20-kilometer distance, and that was, phew, it's like unbelievable.
Sure. And we should say that wherever you go, in any country you go, you will of course have some problems, some obstacles. But after living there 2 months, 3 months, you'll get adapted to this, and it will be like your country. You know, you know the rules. You know the people. You can control the hometown. Yeah, you can go left, you can go right. So it's a great feeling to feel Italy as your second hometown.
By the way, what about population and Italy people?
In Italy, we have got 60 million people. It's like double number of Uzbekistan. 60 million.
The people of Italy are like robots, you know. For example, in Uzbekistan, when you come as a tourist, then like people come, hey bro, like, are you tourist? Assalamu alaikum, are you tourist? Like, but in Italy, no one cares about you. No one cares about you. Just walk. Just like, if you say hi, and they look like strange. Hi. The people are so relaxing. You know, Italy is like a heaven part. There's a Milan. Milan is business city. People love to work up there. People work, people do business, hardworking. But in Rome, where we lived, in Rome, in the capital of Italy, people are so lazy. They're lazy. They just need that pizza to hang on their, mouth. That's it. It's like they don't care. People in Rome, they're so relaxed. They're so lazy. But that's kind of good, you know.
Yeah, that's their culture. They work 5 days. 5 days they work. On Saturday they have a party. At the nights of Friday to Saturday they have a party, big party, till the morning.
By the way. Yeah. Yes, by the way, like on the night of Friday you cannot sleep. Streets of Italy are so crowded because of partying. Every week on the night of Friday, they just go to have party, like drinking, going clubs, like, European mentality, like dancing all night, But that's like a little bit irritating. You cannot sleep at night.
And at Saturday, they relax, they sleep after a party. They sleep, and on Sunday they make their shoppings, they clean somewhere, so that on Monday they're again ready to work. So 5 days work, 2 days of relaxing. That's a regime they have, and I think that's this is very pleasant, to live there, because 5 days of work, 5 days of study, that's almost nothing, and you have a rest 2 days. That's a great feeling to have 2 days of rest rather than in Uzbekistan, which we have 1 day. And I think we should make it like this in Uzbekistan as well. That would be great,
One guy had asked about culture shock in the chat. So culture shock, for us, like, we didn't really have a big culture shock, because as we thought, like, we already kind of changed our way of thinking about little bit mentality to the European and Western side, because as we started learning English, we could think like European people, and like we almost didn't have a culture shock, honestly. But one thing I can tell you, culture shock was very funny culture shock. People publicly can snort. Can you imagine? When you're in a bus, and then there's one like granddaddy or grandmom or whoever, people are allowed to snort publicly, and that's usual thing. That's simple. No one cares. We were sitting in the bus with Dior, and like people in the bus are snorting hard, and then like, whoa, what's going on, bro? What's going on? It's like, and then there was one guy, and then he explained us, That's usual. That's fine. In Italy, everyone can freely snort because they don't want their nose to be trapped, but they just want it free. So I think that's why coronavirus in Italy spread so fast.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason. And another thing is like, they, as we told, they're very, very not responsible, irresponsible. Imagine a situation when your friend calls you at 10 o'clock, for example, to the meeting. If it's at 10:30, if you ask them, are you in meeting? They say, no, I'm going. And you say, why you're late? They say, nobody cares. You know, they think it's okay to be late. They don't, how is that? They don't tell anything bad if you're late, for example.
Yes, they never come on time. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like our Uzbek Osh, in the morning. They call it for 5 o'clock, but Osh starts at 5:30. That's the same.
Yeah, and the person who is waiting and the person who is going, they don't say anything. It's okay for them to be late. The person who's waiting and says like, you came, that's great. Even if it's late. It's like that.
All right, it's like,
Let's finish our
yeah,
conference.
people are sleeping already,
Yeah.
thinking about Italy.
Can I ask one thing? When you went to Italy, how did you feel about our country? And when you came back, how did you feel about Italy?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
Let me start.
Sure.
When we went
About
to Italy,
missing country,
course,
missing
of course.
place.
Human is a strange existence. Human misses the thing that he's missing. And understand, like, you miss the thing that you're missing. It's like, when we got to Italy, we first had a little culture shock, as we talked about, and like we had some problems, like spending 250 euros for taxi and something like that. And then like we started to miss really our parents, our friends, like close friends, and our times in Tashkent, like in Uzbekistan. Like we really missed those times. But now, honestly, when we're here in Uzbekistan, we're so much missing Italy. It's like remembering about those pizzas, like ice creams, streets, Colosseum, Rome, Venice, Italy. You miss the thing that you're missing.
Sure. In Italy, we really missed our Uzbek cuisine. We were preparing some plov, for example, and other Uzbek food. However, it wasn't like in Uzbekistan anyways. We tried our best. We did everything the same, but it wasn't like in Uzbekistan anyways. Especially we missed that meat stuff, a lot of meat eating, like northern stuff, samsa stuff, all these things we really missed. But when we came to Uzbekistan, now we're missing that pizzas, to be honest. Spaghettis, the pastas, right? All of them were really delicious. And I'm sure if you go to Italy right now, we will again miss plov and other things. That's, I think, okay thing for everyone to have like this.
All right, if that's fine for us all, let's sum up everything and let's pull our socks up, and then if you want to sleep, if you want to do other things, do other things.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for your participation. Guys, Dior Abdulmalik, special thanks to you. We appreciate it. And goodbye.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for participating. Take care of
Thank you
yourself.
for sharing your time.
All right, thank you very much as well.